person I chose to do for my project is LaDoris Harris. Some people call her Dot, and here's a picture of her. Dot is an African American female who has contributed greatly to the STEM world, because not only has she brought great things, but she's bringing awareness for women and girls in STEM-related areas. Dot used to work as the Director of Office of Economic Impact and Diversity in the U.S. Department of Energy, otherwise known as DOE. At her job, she ensured that minorities and historically underrepresented communities are afforded to participate in the department's programs at the Department of Energy. Currently, she is back at Jabo Industries, where she focuses on the growing healthcare, energy, information technology industries. Mrs. Harris attended the University of South Carolina, where she earned her Bachelor of Science degree in Electrical Engineering. She received her Master of Science degree in Technology Management from Southern Polytechnic State University, and she received several honorary doctorate degrees from Chicago State University and Clark Atlanta University. While attending school for over 6 years, she received extensive engineering, project management, and leadership training. Now I'm going to talk to you about how she got to where she is today, where she worked in the past, and some of her accomplishments. When she decided to enter the energy industry during her senior year of college, LaDoris had 13 job offers. Her first job she got was at Westinghouse Electric Company, where she started as a field service engineer and then became an operations manager for the company. She was actually named the youngest manager in the history of its nuclear service division. She then went on to ABB Inc., the world's largest electrical engineering firm. At ABB Inc., she became the first African American female officer and vice president of operations and production. She later became a synergy leader and service director for General Electric, or GE. She then went on to become the co-founder, president, and CEO of Jabo Industries, which is an engineering and management consulting firm. Dot Harris has brought over 30 years of leadership and management experience from all her training and background. She is the former director of the Office of Economic Impact and Diversity at the U.S. Department of Energy, like I said earlier. A huge accomplishment of hers was being nominated by President Barack Obama and confirmed by the U.S. Senate. She served as an assistant secretary level position at the Department of Energy. There, she led several offices, including minority and civil rights. She was also the head of the Department of Energy's Initiative for Minorities, where she developed and implemented minority business contracts and opportunities, and advocated and protected the civil rights of employees and recipients of multi-billion-dollar funding vehicles from DOE. Like I said earlier, she's now currently back at Jabo Industries, working alongside her sister. I actually had the privilege to talk to LaDoris on the phone, and I asked her 3 questions. The first question I asked her was what inspired her to choose the career she chose. She said she was originally thinking about becoming an English teacher, but it all changed when she went on a field trip to the Department of Energy's lab, and they actually said that the engineering field was opening up to women. I also got to ask her if she had any advice for today's youth or minorities. She said, STEM is the way to go. She said there are 2 reasons to choose STEM. It's a 30% higher rate than a regular job, and you get the opportunity to change the world to make it better. The last question I asked was, why do you think diversity in the workplace is so important? She loved this question. She said diversity is very important for several reasons. She said diversity comes with innovation, which attracts innovations of students, but in the end, diversity is more effective. Effectiveness comes with competitiveness. She also mentioned that there was a study done by a company that interviewed several people, and they were asked what were the 3 most important parties in a workplace. She said 1 was technology, 2, women and diversity, and 3, innovation. LaDoris is the definition of a trailblazer. She began as a minority in a small town, Denmark, South Carolina. She became an engineering graduate, and she later was awarded the highest ranked woman of color at the Department of Energy. She has brought so many great things to the STEM field as a minority, and she makes sure other minorities' voices are heard. I agree with LaDoris' statement on why diversity is important in the workplace. It is especially important in STEM field because in STEM, it is always great to have new ideas and innovation, which you have to have with diversity for creativity. With diversity comes creativity, and I think LaDoris is a great example of someone that is of color but has great STEM background.